I'm banking on you being familiar with something called positive vibes only and or cancel culture. These are patently fascist tactics in place to do what? Censor people. And everyone who's bought into it is catering to censorship. If you're familiar with those two things I just rattled off, you and I live in an age of censorship, which by all rights shouldn't exist and wouldn't if people knew what they were doing, knew what they were talking about, and or would be willing to do the right fucking thing to stop it. But most people cater to censorship these days. The reason I'm highlighting this is this account has 36,000 people following it, which is typically a really good sign that they are shopping around something on here that does not reflect reality, which is why they're not being censored. And keep in mind, I don't support censorship. I don't think there should be censorship, but there is. And if you speak about things that do reflect reality, I should say exclusively, if you're not shopping around our master's bullshit narratives, which are adult fairy tales and by all rights rabbit holes that go nowhere, mean nothing, and are fuck all, well, you will be censored. I'm speaking from experience. Here's this jazz.
You can't. I did. People going, you can't say that. You can. I did.
As it reads, our realm is relatively level. However, that doesn't describe the earth as a whole. There's so much more to this. I'm pulling punches and I challenge people here and there, and these kids, they don't research. They're chasing entertainment. They're confusing entertainment with research. They're playing follow the fucking leader. They're riding the coattails of the idiot next to them. It's a circle jerk. That's what the truth community is. And our masters understand how people function, which is why this works. For the most part, people are complacent, lazy, and terribly dumb. And it works to our master's advantage because they're just going to follow the idiot next to them. They're not going to think for themselves. They're not truly going to dip into anything and or reason it out. Because most people can't think abstractly these days. If they can't Google it or somebody else can't repeat it, how should I put it? If somebody else can't present them with the information that they're supposedly supposed to drudge up, they can't come by it. They can't figure it out. They don't have an imagination cap to adjust. I keep saying they lack abstract thought. By all rights, most people you're going to bump into in this life are well below average. And that's on a good day. I guarantee everything that they're going to fucking try to talk to you about is going to be rooted in a paradigm one of our masters outlines, because they don't have a goddamn clue what reflects reality. Now, if these kids looked back in time, information that's still available to the general masses, the flat earth movement crap was rolled out first. And I'm not talking about recently. This came a very, very long time ago. This all dates back technically to the 16th century approximately. After which we got what? Heliocentric theory horseshit, globe theory horseshit. And our lazy masters, even though they understand that these tactics work because most people aren't very bright and are also equally lazy, will repeat anything. So what did they do? There was a reemergence of the flat earth model again. If you guys researched instead of chasing entertainment, you would already know the Bible or any of those other social control texts, the religious books, blah, blah, blah. They contain lesser magic. There's bits and pieces you can glean in there, but people don't have eyes to see, so they're not going to see it for what it is. And not one of those books states, we live on a fucking flat earth, the earth is flat, it's a flat earth, blah, blah, blah. None of them. Because what? What do I usually rattle off? The flat earth crap and the globe theory crap in many ways are the same model. And most people haven't figured this out because most people aren't thinking for themselves. Most people say, what the fuck, dude? I mean, you're probably not going to be able to figure that out because you're probably not thinking for yourself. There are videos I've already left online. If you go through the things I've already left online, I thought it kicked me out. And they detail what I'm getting at. In other words, I think for you. Just like somebody having to hand you the answers because you're incapable and or unwilling. These outlines can't be used as a tool because they are not interconnected with things that do reflect reality, which is why our masters are shopping them around. Moreover, they lend themselves to what the Hegelian dialectic is, which is what most slow thinkers would think of as conquer and divide. And people who are even dumber than that would probably dress up as blue versus red. What our masters are doing, this is one of the many ways they have polarized the masses to buy into a football game, essentially. And they have. And they have. And people don't take an issue with that. Instead, they just join a side. I remember when those shitty fucking books written by Stephanie Myers were turned into equally shitty fucking movies. And people were talking about being, what was it, Team Jacob. That's one of the many social engineering things that was shopped around and people repeated it, which means they weren't thinking for themselves. And it was another way to get you to buy into a side of things instead of looking into things and reasoning it out. Because if you went through those religious texts I already alluded to, everything points to the path of moderation, the middle pillar, the middle path, the narrow fucking path. And not letting outside sources polarize you. So anytime you see somebody babbling about the flat earth or babbling about the heliocentric, globe theory model or NASA, which was funded by fucking Nazis, they're polarizing people. Whether they're getting paid for it or not, they are acting as controlled opposition assets because they are shopping around an adult fairy tale that goes nowhere, means nothing, and is fuck all. It's in place to mislead people. Again, how many people are following this account? Not this account. This is my account. And this is where nobody fucking pops in.
People going, you can't say that.
36,000. In other words, what she's shopping around is a disservice to you and I. And it is absolutely irresponsible. But as always, what the fuck do I know?